it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Retro Ranking, where we concentrate more on songs and albums. And today we have got Blondie. Great band. Remember when they came out? Like most boys of my age, we had a thing about Debbie Harry. Lee did, my mate. He's a big, huge Blondie fan. He's not very well at the moment. He's got a stinking cold, and I think I'm getting one as well. But he's confined to barracks at the moment, so I'm sure he'll watch this with a cup of chicken soup, because that always makes you feel better. Anyway, Blondie were formed in New York in 1974 by Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, and they were a pioneer of the American New Wave scene in New York City, but weren't as popular in America as they were here in Britain. So they came to Britain and took us by storm. It took a little while for the Americans to catch up and realise that they had got a great band. They disbanded in 1982. Debbie went on to do a bit of a solo career, but she also was taking care of Chris, who was diagnosed with Pemmingus, which is a rare autoimmune disease of the skin. So the band reformed in 1997 and achieved renewed success, getting their sixth #1 single in the UK with Maria, which was exactly 20 years after their first #1 hit, Heart of Glass. A lot of people have been in the band, but it's the band from that first period that we all affectionately love. I mean, so Debbie Harry, Chris Stein, although he's still in the band, he hasn't toured since 2019. Clem Burke on drums, still doing the business, one of the best in the business. Of course, bass player was Frank Infante in the early days, great bass player, and on the keyboards was Jimmy Destry. Touring bands, since 2022, Glenn Matlock's been playing the bass. Also, Andy Black Sugar plays guitars now instead of Chris. So I've picked out my favourite 10 songs by Blondie. A lot of them are from that early period because, you know, when I was growing up, big influence on my music was Blondie. But we have got some new ones scattered in there. Okay, so coming in at number 10, this was a single. And it's called Sunday Girl. Now, the surprising thing here, it just didn't chart in America. But here in the UK, it got to #1. It's a great song. I love Debbie's vocal in this, and I love it when she sends that little bit in French as well. Absolutely brilliant song. Okay, coming in at number 9, from 1979 as well. Number 13 here in the UK. Again, did not chart in America, and it's the great Union City Blue. I love Chris's guitar licks in this. Great song. Some great drumming from Clem as well. Okay, coming in at number 8, we now go to 1999 to No Exit, which is a great album, the Reform band, and it's a great song called Screaming Skin. Now, this goes back to the early days. Clem's drumming on this is great. It's got a bit of that two-tone feel to it as well. What a great track. Okay, then coming in at number 7, go to 1978 now. Again, did not chart in America. Got to number 2 here in the UK, and it's Denis Denis. One of my favourite songs. Love Clem's drumming in this. Absolutely brilliant song. Okay, coming in at number 6 from 1980. A single, and it got to #1 both in both countries, in America and UK, and it's the brilliant Call Me. Some great keyboards here from Jimmy. I love that tone of the keyboards. Classic song. Great vocal from Debbie. Chris is great guitaring. Brilliant, brilliant song. Okay, coming in at number 5, we're going to stay with 1980. Another number 1 for Blondie. Number 39 in the UK. Atomic. Love the guitars in this and the echo on it. Great bass line from Frank. Brilliant, brilliant song. This is what I'll say. Great vocal from Debbie on that. Okay, number 4, we go to 1999 now. You know, the comeback. The number 1 hit here in the UK, but only got to number 82 in America. What? And it's the brilliant Maria. Absolutely brilliant song. Absolutely out the top drawer. Debbie sounded great, and it was great to have them back. Okay, number 3. 1978 now. Got to number 8 in the UK. Didn't chart in America. It just amazes me. And it's a cover of the Nerves song, Hanging on the Telephone. I like the Nerves version, but this version is absolutely top drawer. Best song, one of the best covers I'd ever heard at the time. Absolutely brilliant. I love this. Great vocals, great guitars, brilliant. Okay, number 2, 1979. America finally woke up to this band, and it got to number 1 on both. This was their first number 1 here in the UK, and it's the brilliant Heart of Glass. What a vocal, what a video. You don't have to say anything about this song, but it's just absolutely classic Blondie. The keyboards from Jimmy are brilliant in this, really adds to it in the sort of backing vocals thing. Absolutely great song. But my number 1 song is, it was a single, but it only got to number 98 here in the UK and number 24 in the USA, and it's off Parallel Lines. And it's the brilliant One Way or Another. Chris's guitars are great on this, and I love Debbie's vocals. Really intimidatory, and it's just a great song. And that drum beat from Clement is brilliant. What a great track. Strange choice, people will think, but no, I just love this track. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, I have got some honourable mentions, of course. My first one goes back to 1987. The only place it got a chart position was in Australia at number 81, and it's the great Ripper to Shreds. I love that combination of the Chris's guitar and Jimmy's keyboards. Really funny, and that little speaky vocal from Debbie is absolutely brilliant. Okay then, my next one is the most current song I think in this list altogether. It's from 2017 and the really good album Pollinator, and it's Doom in Destiny that featured Joan Jett as well. What a track. You've got 2 legends of music who, you know, we've got Joan that was in the Runaways at the time, and Blondie were about as well in the beginning, singing together. It's a really good new wave track done in 2017. Absolutely killer. Great track. One of the best tracks of the modern Blondie, I think. Okay, I got quite a few today because I couldn't leave them out. We're going to look at a deep cut track now from 1979 and the great album Eat to Beat. Slow Motion. I'd say this is probably one of my favourite deep cut tracks by Blondie. It's a fantastic song. Some great playing here from Chris on the guitars. and a fantastic vocal from Debbie herself. Brilliant. Now my next one's from 2003, and the Curse of Blondie, and it's Last One in the World. It's one of the heaviest tracks I think Blondie have ever done. The guitar riffs are cracking, and the vocal from Debbie is fantastic. Really strong track. It's not one of the best. It's a mediocre album, but this is the most outstanding track from that album. And my last mention is 1976. The only place, again, it actually was a big hit was in Australia, and it got to #2. Didn't do anything anywhere else. And it's In the Flesh. It's from their debut album. It's more of a sort of a 1950s, 60s ballad, and it's absolutely wonderful little song. I quite like this. Lovely vocal from Debbie. But it could have been done in the late 50s, early 60s. It's a really, really nice track. So there we go. There's a little bit of Blondie. Look out for a full album ranking later in the year. But that's all for today, because tomorrow is a very busy day. We are starting off with 2 birthdays. We've got Jodie and Stephen tomorrow, before we do the marathon. And tomorrow's marathon is a viewer's request, and it is for a bit of jazz fusion tomorrow, and we're going to do the studio albums of Weather Report. So a busy day tomorrow, so join me tomorrow. Have a great day everyone, and bye for now.